Hey there, it's Robert over at the Sampleist, and today we're checking out the Aleatoric String Orchestra by Soundpaint, which is owned by the same people behind 8DO. The Aleatoric String Orchestra is the Soundpaint release of 8DO's Cage Strings Edition. There are 5,517 real-time samples between high and low strings, with each sound offering 3 mic positions. It revolves around the aleatoric style of composing, which includes clusters, glissandi, hits, and harsh tremolos that you will hear in horror, suspense, thriller, and any other styles that need mangled, intense string sounds. There are a number of ways to manipulate the sounds throughout the library, ranging from freezing samples, slowing and speeding up the samples, and many, many other ways, so that way you have endless possibilities throughout the library. The download size of the library is 13.3 gigabytes and runs on Soundpaint's own engine, fittingly called Soundpaint, which is free to download and try. The Aleatoric String Orchestra sells for $50 on Soundpaint's website, and according to them, is never on sale. In this video, we'll be going through the presets of the Aleatoric String Orchestra, to an overview of the instrument, and a composition where we'll hear this awesome, greedy library in context. I'm looking forward to going through this with you, so let's get after it. Alright, I have the Aleatoric String Orchestra loaded here. As you can see, it's in the Soundpaint engine, which is really cool, and I'll be going over that as well. So we can just start from the top here, and we'll start with bend in, then back out. As you're hearing, the sample as I go higher is going faster and making the pitch go higher and sound more mangled, while as I go lower, the pitch is going lower, but it's more stretched out. You'll notice that in this library there are samples, presets that will do that. There'll also be presets here that will be affected by other things, such as the velocity, the mod wheel, or a combination. So let's move on to the big wash. More of that one sample being manipulated. You'll also notice here that the mod wheel is affecting this node here in the EQ. See a lot of that. All right, next we will go to the clean gliss hit. Compression here is also being affected at the gain down here. Let's move on to foot soldiers, something I might be using a lot. You'll notice here that the sound is getting brighter as it goes, and it's not because that's how the sample is, that's because the mod wheel is affecting the filter. Really cool if you want to accentuate certain beats as you go along that. The next one will be growing scurry. This one is very cool because you can have more of a build. As you can see, sample 3, the very bottom of the mod wheel, is muted, but as you go along, Sounds really cool, sounds more present. It's just a really cool build sound that could be useful in many cases. All right, so the next one will be high chaos. So with this sample, it seems like depending where you're on the keyboard, you're either going to go up or down. Really cool sounds. Let's go to high bliss spider. Now this is such a cool sound because we'll go here to the rack A, where there's something here called time. And as I mess with the mod wheel here, it affects the speed of the sample. I'll let you use your imagination on various ways you can use this. There's, to me, tons of applications for this one sound. Let's go to the jump scares. This one might punch you in the face, so you've been warned. It's got a nice boo type of feeling. Let's go to jump scare 3. Pitch stays the same on the keyboard, but as you move the mod wheel, it affects the overall pitch, top right. Now this is probably my favorite sound in this whole library, high long bliss gate. So in this case, this gliss has this really cool gate sound that's really making it sound kind of helicoptery, but in a really cool way. A lot of good uses. Let's go to gliss tear. Pretty straightforward. Let's go to intense flurry. Sample's the same, more or less, but here can have a cool slow build as you move the mod wheel and the third sample comes in. So here we go again with the jump scare, except here it comes. Now this is a cool sound because it's deep. It's as if you're about to get hit in the face in a horror film or something. The villain's about to strike. Let's go to jump scare 3 actually, since we heard that one. That's a scary one, a very harsh sound. Very cool. All right, let's go to the mod riser. So you can see the pitch. It's being affected in the third box by the mod wheel. But to add more variation, box 2, the second sample here, the pitch is just being affected in general. Very cool. Have the EQ here being affected. Now let's go to pitch speeds up on modulation. And look how I move the mod wheel. The speed does get affected. So does the volume and the pitch of the sample. Really cool. All right, let's go to Shimmer Plume. This one, it sounds like the filter. There it is. The filter's being affected here. So I'll just go from 0 to 127. Cool sounds there. Some cool stingery sounds that can go with some hits or booms. That way, for like a villain that just shows up or some dark setting, be a good way to set it up. Let's go to Trill Riser. So you can see, pretty straightforward. Pitch stays the same throughout though. It doesn't really matter because you still move in, it's movement, and this sample here gets affected by the mod wheel a lot. So does the others, but sample 3 really holds its own as it gets higher. Last but not least, wide and moving trem. Such a cool sound. A lot of uses. Yeah, this is just an overall idea of the various samples. There's tons, as you can see. Tons. And as you go through it yourself, if you decide to get this, you'll see that there's a lot of cool sounds, a lot of cool ways to affect it yourself. A lot of variation that can make your compositions really stand out. And it will help you compose some ideas very quickly. Yeah, that does it for this overview. The next step will be going over the user interface of Soundpaint as a whole and how it affects Aleatoric Strings Orchestra. So here we are with Soundpaint's engine again. So let's talk about the interface. There's a lot of different things you can do, not only with the ASO, but with every other sound you get from Soundpaint, because it'll all go through this engine. There's a lot of different effects, a lot of different things you put in the racks. And you have 12 racks. You have the A rack and the B rack, tons of choices, and then the effects, a lot of cool effects. And then you can also run the arpeggiator. You can morph different things over here. You have up to 4 samples that you can have at once. So let's just do something real quick here. So you might remember the first sample we went over, bend in, then back out. And it's a cool sound, but I ended up playing around with the interface a bit and the effects. So what I did was I added an LFO here, and I also added this gate. So let's see what happens. So here it is. That's the original sound. So I added the gate. Sounds pretty cool. But then I added this LFO that will be affecting this gate. And the shape of the LFO is random. So this is going to be fun. This is definitely a sound that I think I'll be using for my trailers and any suspense tracks I have to write. Yeah, this is just a quick look at the interface. There's tons of other options you can do. You could spend all day toying with the different sounds that you get from Soundpaint's own libraries. You might be able to add your own. There's many things you could do. Yeah, have fun with it when you get it yourself. Like I said before, it's free to download and try. Next, we'll go to the compositional part of this video where you get to hear what I wrote, and I'll go through the various samples that I used that are from the Aleatoric String Orchestra. Okay, so I'm here with my track, which is titled Crazed. So with this track, I really wanted to bring out an intense, gritty, horror-y vibe that the Aleatoric String Orchestra has and brings to most of their sounds. With this, I really thought I can go into my trailer music background and use this. So we'll start with Bliss, Bliss, that sets the tone. It's a really cool sound. I keeps playing so that way it keeps that intensity. I keep repeating it. Next is my lean into the downbeats, to the major downbeats, I should say. Really good stuff. Let me play that in context. Really cool how this leans in. There's two of them, as you'll see. One of them leans into the downbeat, the other one sets the tone. They're in different parts of the stage too, and this one is also setting the mood. The next one will be bend in and back out, because I also use that to lean in to the downbeat, but with more of a, what's that word? More of like a, not thematic, but more of like a motify style. Play it again in context. Excellent stuff. There's something else here playing. The pits going up and down based on the mod wheel. I'll open it. It's really cool. Keeps the sound fresh as it goes through the whole composition. You also see that all the aleatoric samples I have here are in green, and it also says aleatoric. The next thing I will show you is foot soldiers. Nothing out of the ordinary here, it's just a pulse. The mod wheel is affecting the filter, so that's why you'll hear more of an accent every 4 bars. At some point I do replace it with looming walk for variation, and it also has a similar feel when it comes to the filter. It's coming closer and closer to you. Hear that? It's one of my favorites, if not my favorite sound in this whole library. My high, long gliscate. I'll play for you how I'm using the other eerie trem. Here's intense flurry. Kind of like doing that way, showing you how playing it and as it plays, showing you how it is on its own, how it is in context. So here, I'll play all 3 of these. Really cool. We have our jump scares. We have the minor 10th. Have it moving up and down here. Works well. Helps add that low movement. And then coming up, the high glister. Really cool sound there. And of course I end it with my lean-ins right here. And the lovely Bliss Bliss as well. It's a really cool track. I had a lot of fun writing it. I hope you liked it. Can't wait to write more like this, actually. So my thoughts on the Aleatoric String Orchestra are that it's really, really good, well worth the money. You get so much bang for your buck, not only because the samples, the sounds are so good, but the fact that you can really manipulate them on your own within the Soundpaint engine to get even more possibilities, practically limitless possibilities, makes it well worth the $50. It's not like you're spending $400 or even $100. No, this is just $50. For that price, it can't be beat. For uses, this is great for trailers, great for thrillers, great for suspense. I've used this for custom requests on myself in the past. It's a great overall library. If you don't have Cage from 8DO, or you want to try it in Aleatoric, or if you don't have Cage at all, I suggest you give this a look, because for the money, like I said, it's well worth it. I thank you for your time watching this video. Please like and subscribe to the Sampleist. And by all means, please comment below on how you would use this. How you feel playing this if you already have it, or if you're considering buying it. What makes you think it's a good library to check out? Once again, thank you for your time, and take care.